What's going on, everyone? So one player that I talked about, maybe potentially the Lakers looking to acquire, was Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, right? Bring him back to the Lakers. Right? He's a bit of an overpay, in my opinion, that Orlando gave him. Gave him 3 years. He's going to be making $21.6 million this year, and then he has a player option for $21.6 million next year. In my opinion, that's an overpay for KCP, right? But that could be the advantage that the Lakers have, right? Again, Lakers don't have a treasure trove of assets. Lakers aren't in this position to where, they can just overpay for a guy and pony up and do all this stuff. You need to find those guys that work for you, and there is a reason why you could get them cheaper, right? So, like Lonzo Ball. Why would you maybe be able to get Lonzo Ball cheaper than otherwise? Because there's the injury concerns and question marks, right? Well, KCP, it's like, why would you get KCP cheaper than otherwise? Well, because he's overpaid, right? And he's coming off of a bad year for Orlando, right? So it's like, hey, he wasn't great for you and you overpaid him. Let's work something out, right? Where if you're the Lakers, you don't really care so much because you're trying to win now, and KCP fits that window alongside LeBron James, is the ideal guy to slot in next to Luka Doncic. He's also only a year removed from being every bit that prototype 3-and-D guy and was all, defense, right? So, and his best years were with the Lakers. And here's the other thing, right? Orlando didn't have the playmaking that Denver and the Lakers have, right? Why was KCP so good on Denver? Because they have Nikola Jokic, who is drawing all the attention and just kicking out to KCP, and he's getting wide open looks. Guess what the Lakers have? LeBron James and Luka Doncic, as well as Austin Reeves, that you could now look to go and make a move for, right? So if you're the Lakers, it makes a lot of sense to maybe look at a KCP. Maybe you're doing, multiple players, whatever. But I think KCP becoming a Laker becomes even more likely now because Orlando just traded him to the Memphis Grizzlies. And they just traded Desmond Bane. Are they really going to keep KCP long-term? Maybe. Maybe they're looking at it as like, hey, KCP again, it gives us that vet experience. We've got a bunch of assets to go make a big play. Who knows? Maybe. But I also think that there's a real potential and opportunity where the Lakers come along and go, hey, kind of the same argument in Orlando. Hey, you landed KCP. He's due, $43 million over the next, $43 million over the next 2 years, right? Wouldn't you like to get off of that? Right? Wouldn't you like to get off that money? Like, I'm not trading a first and doing all this other stuff, but, if you could do Maxi Kleber and Gabe Vincent, right, for KCP, and maybe you're throwing in a pick swap, right? And it's like, hey, we're freeing up the cap space for you, and we're giving you a pick swap for the service, right? And you still have all your tradable assets, and you just landed KCP, perfect. Now, if they're like, no, we want a first, or we want to connect, then it's like, keep him, right? Good luck to you. But if you can get him, right, especially if Memphis is looking to rebuild. Because if Memphis is looking to rebuild, then the expiring salary makes even more sense for them. Because it's like, hey, right? Like, you're a rebuilding team. You want to be able to take on players and get more assets and do all this other stuff. And right? Well, you can't do that if you have, a guy making $40 million over the next 2 years, right? So, there could be a path and potential where the Lakers could come and make an argument like, hey, we're doing you a favor, and it would be a genuine, it's not unrealistic. Right? Even Memphis, even if they are trying to contend, even if they are trying to compete, right? It's like, you're probably not winning a championship this year with KCP. So give us KCP, and then that frees up a bunch of cap space next season so you can make a move. This year's probably going to be a hiatus year for you regardless. KCP isn't opting out of that $21 million because he's not going to get that anywhere else. Right? And now, yes, it would suck that the Lakers have a little bit of an overpay, but again, you're trying to win. Trying to win a championship, right? We're not trying to, draw this out for 2 years. And again, he's only on a 2-year contract. So it lines up with likely what LeBron's going to be. So then now you have KCP and his $21 million, almost $22 million falling off the books. And LeBron James, when he retires, you have his, 50 plus million falling off the books. It's $70 million off the books right there, right? And now you got your ideal 3-and-D guy slotted in alongside Luka Doncic, right? And you can slot him at the 2, you can slot him at the 3. I mean, you could even, because they're probably going to want to keep Austin Reeves and start him. So, although, again, Austin Reeves, Memphis might have just set the thing. I also wouldn't hate the idea of KCP and Triple J, right? Can you get Triple J? And then maybe even be like, hey, part of the deal is we'll take KCP, right? To kind of make it look like we're giving you another asset. Yeah, we don't have that extra pick you want, but we'll take KCP off your hands, right? And that way we can free up his salary space, get a bunch of stuff for Triple J. And, how many other teams can do that for you? And now you have, something, you have Luka, KCP, Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron James, and a Triple J. Perfect, right? Like now you got that legit 3-and-D guy that can slot in at the 2. You got, right? Like, so to me, I wouldn't hate that even, right? Like, can you maybe do something like that? But point is I like the idea of the Lakers at least inquiring about KCP. They want too much for him and the price is too high, keep him, right? But if you can get him essentially just for swapping players, right? Like, I'd rather have KCP than Gabe Vincent and Maxi Kleber, right? Like, to me, I don't think you're losing anything. Like, yeah, you're kind of overpaying, but it's like you free up a roster spot, which would be very beneficial to the Lakers. Very beneficial to Lakers, right? Because Lakers need a lot of things. And the only guys right now that they'd have coming off the books is Jackson Hayes and Alex Len. But they need 2 centers that they might have to go get in free agency. Well, you could waive Shake Milton. Okay, so then you could have another place. But if you free up another spot, you could potentially have 4 open roster spots to go get. Now you go get a Clint Capella and a Brook Lopez and then a DeAnthony Melton and then maybe free up your full mid-level exception or something like that if LeBron's willing to do it. If not, you have your taxpayer mid-level that you can then go sign a guy, right? Boom, there you go, right? So it doesn't, like, Lakers would still benefit and be able to replace that guy in KCP. And then again, the KCP the following season would be a $21 million expiring contract that then you could use to go trade if you needed to, if it doesn't work out, right? But you got to take some chances, right? KCP is still 32 years old, right? So he's not, he's older, but he's not like so old where it's like, and again, I think most of KCP's issues were Orlando just doesn't have the playmaking, right? Like, I know some people might look at it as like, oh, he's on a decline. I disagree. I think it's, again, you don't have the guys to get KCP the quality of looks that he got with the Lakers when he was on the team with LeBron and Anthony Davis and Rajon Rondo and all these other guys, right? Same thing with Denver, right? Like Orlando isn't Denver. They don't have that Jokic that just is one of the best offensive engines in all of basketball. Also, KCP plays, and the best ability is availability, right? Played 77 games, 76 games. So 77, 76, 76, 77, 67 the last 5 years. You could keep going. 69, 82, 74, 76, 76, 82, 80. The fewest games he's ever played in a season was 67 games. That'd be great for the Lakers, right? Just to have a guy that is Mr. Reliable. But you look at last season, right? He played 29.6 minutes per game. He took 7.1 attempts, which is down by nearly a full attempt the last few seasons with Denver. He shot 43.9%, which again was down from the previous years, 34.2% from 3-point range, which was a drastic drop off from the last literally 5 years. Last time he shot 34% from 3-point range was 2018-2019 season, in which he shot 34.7%. Right? You look at every year since then, 38.5%, 41%, 40%, 42.3%, 41%. Right? Literally, the previous year in Denver, he shot 41% on the same number of attempts, 4 attempts per game, and was all defense. Right? So again, it's not like he's literally a year removed. So what's more likely, that he just took this drastic steep, or he left a guy in Jokic that is setting him up and getting him the quality of looks to get him a better 3-point percentage, and he doesn't have to self-create as much and whatnot as he does on an Orlando team? I think it's that, right? 2-point range, 58.9%, which is actually the highest he's had ever. It was the highest of his career on 2.8 attempts. EFG of 54.3%. Free throw shooting was 86.3%. Averaged 2.2 rebounds, 2 assists, 1.5 steals, half a block, and 9 points per game, right? Look at his Denver tenure, right? Because I think that that's very important. Because, again, I think that that's better comparable with the Lakers, because the Lakers have Luka and LeBron James, right? So you look at that, 7.7 attempts and 8.3 attempts. He shot 46% and then 46.2%, 4.1 attempts, 4.2 attempts, so nearly identical years. 3-point range shot 41%, 42%. 2-point range shot 52%, 50%. EFGs of 56.6%, 56.9%. Free throw shooting, 89%, 82.4%. Rebounding, 2.4, 2.7. Assists, 2.4, 2.4. Exact same assist totals, right? Steals, 1.5, 1.5. Blocks, half a block, right? Points, 10.1, 10.8. Again, I don't think that's a coincidence. I think that that's who he is. He just needs the playmakers around him. LeBron James and Luka Doncic. But as always, there's a discussion, pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. So we enjoy these types of videos. Truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.